Here's the audience at the beginning of my speech.
There's going to be stress in your life, but it's your choice whether you let it affect you or not. This is a quote by Valerie Bertinelli, and I feel like it relates to everyone in their everyday lives about stress. Stress is inevitable, and people have to become more aware of it because it can cause serious implications down the road. And I had a stressful event in my life. My dad had a stroke, and I didn't know how to cope with it at first, but then I became more aware about what was happening, and I changed my ways and helped and change my life. And everyone deals with stress in their life, but many are unaware about how stress affects them and the consequences that goes along with it. Now, the first topic we have to tackle is what is stress? You have to understand what stress is in order to understand the consequences and ways you can reduce your stress levels. Now, according to dictionary.com, stress is a mental or emotional strain resulting from very demanding circumstances. Now, for example, my dad having a stroke, that was a stressful situation. Another example could be something like a traffic jam. People get road rage and they become stressed because they might be late to a meeting or a kid's event, anything along those lines. Now, what happens when you become stressed? Well, the heart will pound, your breathing will quicken, and muscles will tense and beads of sweat will appear. Now, those are some basic things that happen when you become stressed. And another question people might have is, do certain groups of people get stressed more? Well, to show you that, I have a chart for you. Okay, so here's my chart. It's titled Percent Who Reported a Great Deal of Stress in the Past Month by different groups, and this is by the Robert Wood Foundation. So there's about 7 different groups on here: poor health condition, disabled, have chronic illness, income below 20,000, experience dangerous situations at work, single parents, and parents of a teen. Now the highest one is poor health conditions, and the lowest one is parent of a teen. And I can see how these are all very stressful. Here's a look at my chart. And they're all very relatable to everyday life and different people. And there's my chart to display that. Now that we understand what stress is, we have to understand the consequences of poor management of stress. According to Health Harvard, understanding the stress response, 25% of Americans are experiencing high stress. That is a quarter of all Americans. Now, over time, this stress can really take a toll on the body, and it can result in things such as high blood pressure, formation of artery clogging deposits, and it can contribute to anxiety, depression, and addiction. That was also thanks to Health Harvard. Now, these examples, they're pretty severe, so if you take stress lightly, it might result in something very bad, such as these things. Anxiety, depression, those are both serious illnesses, along with addiction. Addiction to things such as drugs and gambling and other things like that. They can really take a toll on your health. Now, what happens when you are experiencing a stressful situation? The amygdala, which is part of the brain, it sends a stress signal to the command center, also known as the hypothalamus, which is also in the brain. And it gives the energy to fight or flee, which is known as the fight or flight response. Now that we've learned the consequences of stress, people will want to change their ways and help reduce their stress levels. And one way in doing that is through yoga, which consists of 3 elements. Now, according to Yoga and Anxiety by Health Harvard, the first element is physical poses, which are also called asanas, which are like the poses that you commonly see when seeing yoga, which they're like in these weird poses. And the second step is controlled breathing along with these physical poses, so you do these at the same time. And the last one is deep relaxation or meditation, which helps to soothe the body and just relax. Now, it's said that this yoga helps modulate the stress response systems, and it reduces heart rate, lowers the blood pressure, and allows the body to respond to stress more flexibly. Now, another thing that you can do to help reduce these stress levels is exercise. Exercise helps in like 3 various ways. It can improve your sleep quality, which people with like high stress levels tend to not sleep well. It can lower your stress hormones. One stress hormone it can lower is cortisol, and the last one is confidence. It can boost your confidence because you become more confident with your body, which then leads to a stronger mental health. Now on to the conclusion. So first I described what stress is. Second, I described the consequences of stress and where it can occur. And lastly, I described the what you can do to help better your stress levels. Now, since everyone has stress in their life, and you just have to become aware of it, about what you can do about it. And once you do that, then you'll have a better life, you can better manage your health, and you can live longer and more fully because you'll have less stress in your life.
Here's the audience at the end of my speech. Did you guys like it?
Yes.